Welcome back to the program. Do remember our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We also encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature on the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions you see. Well, controversies have continued to trail the results of Saturday's rerun election in Imo State, which INEC has declared inconclusive once again. Now, at a press conference in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the Imo North senatorial election insisted that the PDP won that particular election. They accused the All Progressives Congress in the state of massive rigging and manipulation of original results from polling booths, and called on the presidency and the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission to address the lapses in the election and declare the PDP candidate winner. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress in the state says reactions from the PDP is uncalled for and unwarranted, as the APC remains the only popular party in the state that has delivered the dividends of democracy to the people.
Again, in Ituboma LGA, total votes collected from polling units in the LGA shows that PDP scored 5,119 votes, while APC had 8,861 votes, indicating a difference of 3,742 votes in favor of APC. But the final result, announced by INEC at the Coalition Center, showed PDP had 5,184, while APC had 10,171, indicating a falsified apparent difference of 4,987 votes in favor of the APC. In Obo, the PDP we were leading. We had over 85% of the votes. We urge APC to toe the line of PDP by giving Nigerians free and fair elections, allowing us freedom of choice and equal opportunity. The foundation the PDP has laid.
INEC is in a position to say there was rigging. They're in a position to say that the people did not follow due process during time of election. That our candidate of APC is generally acceptable to everybody and to the people of Okigwe North. So if he is finally declared the winner of that election, I don't think that anybody will complain about it. There has never been any time somebody loses the election and did not throw accusing finger on the person that defeated him. So it's not something new, and you continue to see it. I won't be surprised if at the end of the day they declare our candidate the winner, looking at the kind of campaign we carried out and the promises given to us by the people.
Well, for more on the Imo North senatorial election controversies, I'm now being joined on News Across Nigeria by our political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jake.
Now, Seun, this is about the third time we're having this kind of stalemate in the Imo North, senatorial elections, and the parties accuse each other of all manner of things, from rigging to manipulation, and of course asking INEC to address lapses. Why is there a recurrence of the situation?
This is in fact the fourth time. I mean, let me just quickly go over what has happened in the history of these Imo senatorial election. Is the Imo North senatorial election. So the first time was the general election last year. It held during the normal elections in April. And at the end of the day, you remember that the Imo governorship election, the elections in that state, there was a supplementary election. It also held at that supplementary election. And again, at some point, when the result was announced in favor of Mr. Ethan Achonu, the PDP candidate, and he emerged, in fact, he had gotten the mandates to be the senator representing Imo North Senatorial District of Imo State. But at some point, the Accord Party went to court challenging INEC that his logo was omitted on the ballot paper. So that election and the result and the victory was quashed by the court. So they had to go back to the field one more time. So making the third time that that election was held, it was cancelled because of security reasons, and INEC has promised that it would not go back to the field until when it is certain that security situation is guaranteed for ballot papers, for the materials, for its staff, and the lives and property of people in that area. And so that was why that election stayed for a long time, even after 90 days, because you remember that the law would say conduct election after it has been cancelled or postponed within a certain window of time, sometimes 90 days window. But it took longer than that because INEC has said, look, if we cannot guarantee you security on this matter, not only in Imo State, also in River State, there were, in Kogi State also, there are a few rerun elections that hung for a long time, and INEC, the major reason was the issue of security. But now INEC has said, let's go back to the field. They've spoken with different stakeholders, from political parties to security operatives, and everybody has agreed that, look, we're going to conduct an election that will be insecurity free.
Okay, you talk about security, but certainly there must be so many other things. What are the standards here and the law that INEC should be following? Why do we have such problems in specific states? Don't we have, guidelines that election matters follow? Why do we keep going back to the same?
The technicality is this. For example, you remember let me just remind you of what happened in Kogi State during the governorship election. Look, when an election is declared inconclusive, politicians have used several means to have delays and all of that. But when the number of cancelled votes, for example, is higher than the number of the margin between the two candidates, it could be said to be an inconclusive election, because it's going to be given, or it's implied that the number of cancelled votes could be an opportunity for either of the people in contestation of that particular election could gain those votes and win that election. So in that case, that's what is happening. We've seen a lot of times where, and what usually causes inconclusive election is because people destroy ballot papers. And so there are destruction, there are disruption, there are manipulations, and so these votes are cancelled. In Kogi State, it was 49,000 cancelled votes. We had 41,000 between the margin. Here in Imo State is 13,000 votes that are cancelled. 8,000 margin between the two major candidates of the PDP and the APC. So it's inconclusive. A lot of people will say, INEC is conducting inconclusive elections. But really, is it INEC that has manipulated the result, or the ballot? Is it INEC that has destroyed the ballot? Is it INEC that stuffed ballot? Because if you have a situation of ballot stuffing, it will be regarded as a void vote or void ballot and all of that. So these are some of the reasons why this situation is a bit technical, and the law also comes into play. That
okay,
you
what
cannot,
does the law say? Yeah.
The law simply says that you must win with majority votes, one, and the vote must, the margin of votes between the two candidates must be less than the cancelled votes. So those are the basics of the law.
Let me come in here. It's funny to me. Can the seats, be declared, vacant up until maybe the next proper elections are set up? I'm asking that because of this. How many times can a particular election be held because it's always considered inconclusive?
I've tried to digest the Nigerian law, the electoral, the law that guides our election, the Electoral Act, front, back, and I've really not seen just how many times the law stipulates that you can, as long as because you can go to court one day and find out that the election was not properly held, something has happened, you still have to go back to the field until INEC guarantees that this election, everything is okay, and the court or the law also can guarantee that everything is okay. As long as that happens, you must, of course, go and get the people's votes and get the people's voice on who will represent them at any given position. Well,
thank you so much, Seun Okinbaloye. That's our political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye, talking about the controversies in Imo State. Thank you for joining us on the program. When news across Nigeria returns, we go over to Cross River State, where the state government is intervening on federal government roads. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.